Tonight's sleep story. Let your body sink deeper into your bed. Let your breath soften, your thoughts slow. Tonight, we'll take a journey through misty forests, moonlit cliffs, and the lingering echoes of a timeless love. This is the story of a man who waited, and the woman who unknowingly walked into his silence. Breathe in and breathe out. Let the waves guide you. Let the wind carry your mind. There was a village nestled between the sea and a dark wood. Few dared wander after dusk, for the fog that rolled in from the cliffs was thick, ancient, and whispered of old secrets. Elena had only arrived a week ago, a quiet escape from the noise of the city, the chaos of her thoughts. She rented a small stone cottage, overgrown with ivy and warmed by a wood-burning hearth. Each day she explored a little. The village was small, but steeped in charm. Cobblestone paths, mossy stone walls, and shuttered windows that peeked like watchful eyes. She'd sip tea at the bakery each morning, listening to the locals speak in cautious tones. But at night, she heard it. The sound of footsteps, not hers, not any villagers. Soft, deliberate, coming from the woods. The villagers warned her in hushed tones, "Don't go out after sundown. The forest has its watchers." One night she stood in her garden longer than usual. The fog arrived early, curling around the cottage like a living memory lantern. In hand, Elena stepped past the gate, down the stone path, into the woods. The silence was heavy, like a held breath. The trees arched overhead, their bare limbs like old fingers whispering secrets. She walked slowly, each step a decision. Then she saw him. A figure, tall and cloaked, standing still beneath an old elm. She froze. He didn't move, didn't speak, but his eyes, silver, ancient, met hers. Her lantern flickered. The air shifted. A crow called in the distance, then silence again. And just as suddenly, he was gone. She returned home, heart racing, mind swirling. Sunlight filtered through her window. Elena brewed tea, her thoughts distant. The village bustled quietly, but something had changed. At the bakery, the old woman gave her a longer look. The postman handed her letters with shaking hands. Children watched her from behind fences, whispering. They knew. They always knew. That night, she returned to the forest, not out of fear, but compulsion, as if a thread had been tied between her and the woods. She stood where she last saw him, waited. He appeared again, not from the mist, but as if emerging from memory. This time, he stepped forward, out of the fog, into the glow of her lantern. His voice was deep, quiet. "You came back. I had to," she whispered. They stood in silence, a silence filled with something unspoken. "Lucien," he said. "My name is Lucien. Elena." Their names lingered like a spell between them. He lifted a hand, paused, then let it fall. "Come again tomorrow, if you wish." She nodded, heart thudding. She barely slept. The next day was long, her mind never straying far from the woods. When night came, she was already at the edge of the path. Fog was thicker, moonlight brighter. She found him where the trees bent toward each other, forming a living arch. He reached for her hand. She let him take it. "This place, it's held us before," he said. He told her stories of long-lost souls, of love that waited across centuries, of mirrors that showed memories not lived, but remembered. "Why are you here?" she asked. He looked at her for a long time. "Because I waited for you." And he kissed her, gently, as if he'd done it in another life. Time stretched. The forest held its breath. Somewhere an owl called. The pool ahead shimmered like a dream waiting to be remembered. They walked deeper, into the heart of the forest, to a pool that shimmered even without light. This is the mirror, Lucien said. It remembers. Elena knelt, looked. In its surface she saw herself, dressed in silk, standing on a balcony beneath a crescent moon. Lucien beside her, younger, laughing. I dream of that moment every century, he whispered. You've lived all those years, alone? She asked. He nodded. Some loves are too old to die. They just wait. She reached into the water. It rippled, but the vision held. A memory not her own, but one her heart recognized. The tree swayed. The stars blinked through mist. Something old was awakening. There's a cost, he said, if you choose to stay. His voice was soft, almost afraid to break the stillness between them. Elena looked at him, really looked, the way the moonlight rested on his face, the way time clung to him like frost, and yet the warmth in his eyes had never faded. What kind of cost? She asked. Lucien hesitated. The world forgets you. You forget the noise, the pain, the city, the years. You become part of this place, like the mist, like the memory. She breathed in deeply, and it felt like breathing in every life she'd ever lived. I'm not afraid, she said. If love can wait that long, then it deserves to be remembered. Lucien stepped closer. Their hands found each other. Then let me pay it, she whispered, for every night you waited. He closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the silver glow in his gaze had softened, no longer lonely, no longer searching. The forest shifted. The trees stood straighter. The fog lifted, curling like morning dew. Birdsong began, slow at first, then blooming into a chorus of daybreak. As dawn crept over the horizon, the village stirred for the first time in years with a gentle kind of joy. Children laughed in the streets. Flowers bloomed out of season. And somewhere, in the heart of the woods, two hearts beat in rhythm again. Elena awoke beneath the old elm tree, Lucien beside her. No longer waiting, no longer lost, just being together. They wandered together through the dream forest. No path, no map, only intuition. The trees whispered their blessing as Lucien and Elena walked in silence, wrapped in each other's presence. They found the forgotten garden, half swallowed by time. Stone benches now draped in moss. Flowers that hadn't bloomed in a century stretched towards the new warmth. Lucien told her stories of this place, where lovers once carved names in bark, where songs were sung under stars. Elena touched the rose bush that bloomed out of the season. This was ours, she whispered. They sat together in the garden as the night moved slowly above. The moon spun her silver thread through trees. Then, a clearing and a circle of stones. Lucien grew quiet. Here is where I waited. Always. Elena stepped inside the circle. Then let this be the place we begin again, she said. Lucien knelt, not in submission, but in reverence. Will you stay? Beyond time? Beyond memory? She nodded, tears shimmering. Yes. The stones glowed faintly. The forest hushed. And they lay down together in the circle, wrapped in one another, breath slowing. Until there was only wind, only birdsong, only peace. And sleep took them, not as an end, but a gentle return to where love never dies, where the night is always waiting and the heart is always heard.